appreciate very much all of you coming. It's a great pleasure for me to be here. Mr. President, that has a good ring to it. I'm happy to be here with you, and thank you very much for having me. And Dean, thank you very much for helping host me also. Thank all of you for coming. And it's my pleasure to be at this great university that's been a source of learning for a very, very long time. I specifically chose this place to have my college event in this area because of my admiration and respect for all the great work that's been done here over a long period of time, including, as Evan points out, the work that's been done on civil rights and other issues of equality. I'm going to start by just talking a little bit about what I think is happening in the world today, what I think the responsibilities of the next President of the United States should be, and then I'm going to open the floor to questions. So I'm going to talk for a few minutes. This is a town hall meeting. I'm going to give you a chance to ask questions about everything that you're interested in asking. First, I get asked pretty regularly what I think the most important personal characteristics of the next President of the United States are. And I have a very clear view about this. I think we need a president who is open and honest and a good and decent human being. Somebody that can reestablish trust between America and its president. And I might add, somebody who can reestablish trust between the President of the United States and the rest of the world. I think both those things are crucial as we go forward. Now, what should the next president do in the first 3 or 4 months they're in office? My view is that they need to spend significant amounts of time overseas speaking to the rest of the world, not just to leaders behind closed doors, but to the people of the world, the way great American presidents have in the past. The world needs to hear, as others have described, about not just the place that is America, but the idea that is America. And for me, that idea, and at the core of it, is equality. And that includes equality across the waterfront, includes equality of opportunity. That's what we in America should stand for. They also need to hear from the President of the United States that we don't just tolerate diversity in America, we embrace diversity. Diversity of all kinds. Ethnic, faith, cultural diversity. Because unfortunately the world doesn't believe that about us right now. And they need to see that and hear it from the President of the United States. Now, is those speaking to the world, is that enough? No, it's not. Because of what's happened over the last several years, that America is perceived in many parts of the world as a bully, selfish, short-sighted, and not a country that's out there engaged in the general good of the world. That has to change. The world needs to see an America that's a force for good, that's not interested just in itself, in our own selfish interests, but interested in humanity and helping lead on issues that affect humanity. One thing that I think has been proven beyond any doubt over the last several years is that raw power alone will never make you a leader. The world needs to see America as a country that has the moral authority to lead. So besides the president speaking to that question, how do we demonstrate it? And before I get to that, I would add that it's important not just for us feeling good and the world feeling good about us, it's important for the security and stability of the world. Because we are the preeminent power in the world today. And we are the country that can provide stabilization. Without us, the world is a chaotic, dangerous place. And when these crises occur, as they're inevitably going forward, the world should rally around the United States of America, not run away from us. And for that to be true, the rest of the world is going to have to look up to us now and have respect for us. Probably a better way to say it. When you think about your own lives and the people you encounter in your life, just because they're powerful, if you don't respect them, if you don't look up to them, you will not follow them. The same thing is largely true in the world. So how does America generate that level of respect? How do we make ourselves a force for good that the rest of the world feels comfortable following? Well, there are many ways for us to do it. Let me just talk about a few. Right now, today, there's a genocide going on in Western Sudan, in Darfur. Hundreds of thousands of people have been slaughtered Women have been raped. Villages have been lowered. Most of it's been done at the hands of a group called the Janjaweed Militia. That militia is supported by the Sudanese government. The Sudanese government is engaged in genocide. Now, step back from this for a minute. It's a horrible situation. And remember that this is in the wake of Rwanda. Step back from it and look at it through the eyes of the world instead of through our eyes. Something we need to get better at doing, to see how the rest of the world sees things. So you're the rest of the world, and this is what you said. The most powerful nation on the planet has declared that a genocide is going on. And then step back and watch it continue. What would you think of us? The same thing's true on the spread of HIV/AIDS in Africa. There's an entire new generation of children being born with AIDS because their mother can't pay for a $4 dose of medicine. And the richest nation on the planet watches it continue. What would you think of us? It has to change. The world has to see America as a force for good. And they need to see us as a force for good for our own security and for the security of the world. Now here, you think about all the money that's been spent in Iraq. And Iraq is a bleeding sore for America right now. Hundreds of billions of dollars spent in Iraq. And then take that and put it on one side and put beside it what America could do if we led an international effort to make primary school education available to every child in Africa and every child in the Muslim world. Now, if you want to talk about a transformational idea, that's a transformational idea. Instead of kids in the Muslim world being educated in madrasas and taught to hate what we stand for, instead they'd have to feel like they have a real chance at life. Us, and we shouldn't do this by ourselves. I'm talking about America leading an international effort to do exactly what I just described. Then we can be seen as a force for good. If we do something about genocide, if we're willing to lead in stopping the spread of HIV/AIDS, if we're willing to lead on global poverty, if we're willing to lead on providing education to kids all around the world, I'm telling you, it will change the way the world thinks about us now. And it's important to us, but it's also important to the rest of the world.